What's up guys, it's the Bassmeister here. Welcome to Deer Haven Studio, and today I am very excited to show you the completion of both stages 2 and 3 of my car stereo system upgrade. I really lucked out for Christmas. I got a lot more money than I was expecting to get, and there were some really awesome deals going on down at my favorite audio store, so I was able to get stage 2, which is all the speakers, and I literally mean all of them. All those upgraded, and I was able to get a power amplifier, and I'll explain what that's for in a minute. Also, stick around at the end. I'm going to talk about that Bluetooth aptX feature that I didn't know what it did on my new car stereo. I actually now know what that does, and I'm going to talk about it because it's really cool. So first, let me show you what I got. Alright, so stage 2 is the complete overhaul of all 6 speakers, the door speakers and the 2 in the dash. This set right here is a set of 2 Kicker CSS67s. And basically it's a component speaker system, which means that it's actually 4 speakers put together. And what that means is you have your 6 3/4 inch woofer, which will go in the door, and then normally in the old stereo system that speaker took care of the full frequency range. And now with the addition of these component speakers, which are little 3/4 inch tweeters, they're designed to handle the higher frequencies and let the woofers over here take care of the mid-range and mid-bass. Technically, they're not designed to do the entire full range. They're designed to do down to the mid-range and the bass, and the sub takes care of everything below that. So what ends up happening is you have this speaker sitting in the door, and then you're going to have this speaker basically replacing the dash speakers. They're designed to mount up on the door. The idea is they call it elevating the sound stage. It makes it sound like the sound is coming more directly at you as opposed to at your feet type of thing. And then these boxes right here, of course, are the crossovers that they have circuitry that directs the frequencies to where they need to go. So each pair, one tweeter and one speaker, goes to one side, and then the other set goes to the other side, and that's the front. Now, over here, I thought I'd show you, this is a really cool speaker design. This has got a really cool front grille. This is known as a two-way speaker, and as you can see, this is going to be for the back door. It's 2 speakers in one. You have your main 6 3/4 inch woofer, like before, and then you have your 3/4 inch tweeter, but it's on the same speaker. Now here's the really cool part. These speakers, you don't really think that they're all that big, but check that out. That's fairly deep, but not so deep if you think about it. And that is a honking huge magnet. And it's powerful too. Like I had a tool, it was a little wire cutter that I had on my thing, and it just grabbed it from about 6 inches away. It was rather impressive. But that's going to be for the back door. There's going to be 2 of those. Those are the speakers. That's going to take care of all of them. Now, over here, we have stage 3. This beautiful little thing is the Sound Ordnance M75-4 power amplifier. And what this guy does is it takes power, and then it has signal outputs to the speakers. And then back here you have your plugs. And what this thing will do is it takes the sound from your car stereo, bypasses its preamp completely, and all it does is just sends it the raw signal, which is fairly quiet. It isn't energized at all. It goes into these plugs, and then it takes power from your car system and basically amplifies it itself. All it does is amplify sound. And the advantages to having a power amplifier, besides being able to crank out way more watts, this thing is 75 watts per channel. That's RMS, and then for comparison, the aftermarket stereo I got was 22 watts, and the one before that, the factory one, was something like 10, which was still plenty of volume, but I don't necessarily need 75 watts for volume. It will use it for clarity. Power amplifiers are much bigger, they can have better hardware in them, and that allows them to have better amplification ability. It doesn't distort nearly as much, and so the end result is a cleaner sound. And of course, the other advantage is you can crank this thing up louder if you wanted to. In fact, these speakers are actually designed to handle more power. if you look on the box, it says it can handle a peak of 300 watts, which when you comp that down to constant power, RMS, that's about 100 watts. And going from 22 to 100 is a huge leap and results in massive volume, but you need more wattage out of your amplifier in order to power these aftermarket speakers, but it also makes them capable of achieving these insanely loud volumes, which can actually crack your windshield. You may have seen that comical video of the trunk blowing up in the car because this subwoofer was up way too loud. That can actually happen. That wasn't fake. That's real. And I have talked to real people who have had their windshields cracked because they had massive subwoofers and these big speakers with literally 1,000 watts of amplification inside of a small car, and it cracks their windshield, stuff like that. That can happen. But this will give me extra power and extra clarity. I was also thinking one time, I'll bet I could open all 4 of my doors and pop the trunk, and I could actually have all the sound going towards the back, and it could be like a giant stereo system. I'm going to have to try that. That'll be pretty cool. But here's the interesting thing. In about a week, Crutchfield is going to get all of this stuff installed professionally for me. And that's not because I had such a lovely time putting that car stereo in. No, the reason is because if you're going to add a power amplifier, that involves custom rewiring everything. And I literally mean everything. You're taking out all the old wiring in all 4 doors, and then you're going to put new wiring in that hooks up to this thing, wherever you decide to put it in your car. Plus, you have to hardwire in the power supply, which also usually involves tapping through the firewall between your engine compartment and your passenger compartment, and that is not something the amateur should be doing. You don't really want to mess with that firewall. So all of that has to be done professionally. The speakers, on the other hand, turns out that if I had not gone with component speakers, the ones that separate, that go to different places, I probably could have done them myself, because it turns out, once the wiring is in place, the speakers are basically plug and play. You know, you just slide these little things in and there you go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we're going to recheck our sample from before. I'm going to play the old clip where we have the new stereo and the old speakers, and then we're going to play you the clip with everything upgraded. You'll hear new speakers and a power amplifier added. Here we go.
Round 3, fight!
Alright, so let's talk about aptX Bluetooth real quick. I mentioned in my previous video that I had no idea what aptX did. I got a very helpful comment from this guy right here who was talking about how it was more compatible, made devices more compatible. So I decided to do some research. Turns out he was close. To do audio Bluetooth, you have 2 options. You have subband coding and aptX. Subband coding came first, and it was designed to do what Bluetooth was originally designed to do, which was to basically connect your phone, which we're talking little Nokia bricks and smart and flip phones, to a little Bluetooth headset. So you're talking mono audio and very low quality. Nowadays, most of our Bluetooth devices are designed to handle music. You have your speakers, you have your headphones, car stereo systems. They're all designed to handle music in stereo and as high quality as possible. And to handle that, you needed aptX. It had more bandwidth. It was originally designed to do radio work, actually. I was reading about apparently aptX has stuff in it that you can use to automate playing songs off of a computer hard drive for radio station purposes, things like that. So it's had some evolutions, and over time it has become a codec that Bluetooth uses in order to increase audio quality. That said, I also mentioned in my video that my Android phone did not handle playing Bluetooth through my car system very well. There was distortion in the higher frequencies, and it overall just wasn't very good to listen to. Well, what you don't know is shortly after that video was released, I was able to upgrade to an iPhone 6. Much newer device. I'm almost certain it has aptX in it, although I haven't seen anything in documentation that says it does. But what I do know is that the audio quality is noticeably better, like way better. It's still not CD quality better, but it's good enough that you can't really tell unless you do what I did, which was go immediately from Bluetooth to CD with the same song just to hear the difference. CD has a little bit more clarity to it. And I feel like that should stay that way because CD is awesome. Of course, that's what they said about cassettes and vinyls. So anyway, that's what aptX does. It makes your music and all your sounds sound better. Now, this commenter also mentioned how it would make things more compatible. And on one hand, he's right. On one hand, he's wrong. He's wrong because aptX only works when both devices have aptX. Otherwise, it defaults to subband coding and you've gained nothing. On the other hand, he's right because new devices are pretty much all going to have aptX because the new focus has shifted from cell phone headsets to music playing through headphones and speakers and car stereos and those types of things. So because all the new devices are going to have it, eventually all the devices will have it. Technology always phases out the old, brings in the new, and so in a sense he's not really right as in that he will become right. He's in the process of becoming right, if that makes sense. So anyway, that was a fascinating little research adventure for me. We are now at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for stage 4, which will be, of course, the addition of a subwoofer and a amplifier to run that subwoofer, and that will be in a while. Not exactly sure when that's going to happen, but it will, and I'm excited for it to happen, and I will see you next time.